so we're back from our bolt run. 200 bolts. Well, I think it's about 185 or something in here, and so I think I got around 200 to make sure we're gonna have plenty. So got 200 bolts, carriage bolts. They're varying in sizes. Most of them I got galvanized, and I had to get a few of these to have enough. These zinc ones here, but they're all between 3 and 3.5 inches, which is okay because I got 2 inches of board. So even on the 2.5 ones, I still got half. I mean, not 2.5, 3-inch ones. I still got an inch for all my hardware, which is going to be a flat washer. I should have grabbed all this hardware out beforehand. Hang tight. Let's do that. What we're going to do is this be down through the board first, and then on the bottom we'll have the washer, then we'll have the lot washer, and then we'll have this nut. And that's how we're going to do it. And you pretty much have to do this. You can't really get away with just using Teflon lot washers, lot nuts on this, because usually that Teflon won't turn and get started on the onto here because this thing will want to back out when you try to impact it down. It'll just back out, and this head's got to stay down. So you just about always have to use a lot washer style setup and a regular washer. I mean, a regular nut for this style setup because of that. And then even sometimes that may not work out with these being galvanized, which is why I went ahead and got enough galvanized nuts in case those were a little tight on the threads, which they are. So these galvanized ones, they're a lot looser cut to accommodate for the galvanized. So usually when you're using a galvanized bolt, you want to use a galvanized nut because the threads are cut to accommodate for the galvanized inside the threads. So it goes on a lot easier. Like one of these doesn't go on very well. It's tight and it's harder to screw up, and you can gauge it and stuff a lot easier. So the galvanized ones tend to work a lot better. So that's what we're going to use. But first we're going to go cut all these heads off and pull out the drop cord out of the garage, because save that precious gasoline these days. So I'm going to pull the cord out and get a grinder with a cutting disc, and I'm going to whack all these heads off, and probably get me a bucket so I have something to throw all these heads in so they don't get all over the driveway and stuff, and get me something I can punch all the bolts through and pull all these old boards off, and probably stack them back up on probably get the skid steer maybe back around here and stack them up on the skid steer or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, squirt. Good, that's it.
Gosh, who are you without all that hair?
Oh, yeah, got a little trim.
No.
So we're back on the trailer, redecking this trailer. So now we got all the boards up. We end up, the best method for getting those bolts out ended up being burning the heads off with a torch, and we just kept some water going to keep the boards from flaming up too much, and we just went through and we just cut all the heads off, and then we knocked all the bolts through the bottom. Worked out pretty good, kept us up on top of the trailer, and worked out pretty good. Wasn't too bad. So we got them all out. We can get rid of the old boards. I need to go through and kind of inspect the trailer good and make sure there's nothing I need to weld on it or anything that needs some attention while I got the deck off. And then we got a few places where we got to figure out what we're gonna do about our bolt holes. We're either gonna put new bolt holes in it, or we're going to do what they've done in the past, which is add a piece of angle iron in to make a slit in between the cross beam and the angle iron, which allows you to drill through the board and put a bolt with a washer on the bottom, and you just got that slit for a bolt hole all the way across. Either gonna do that, or we might drill them, maybe, or burn holes with the torch. It'd be a lot easier. So we might do that. I don't know yet. We will see.
Okay.
But first, I gotta get the old stuff out of the way. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay. He's alright. Sarge, moving so much, man. You're painting. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Alright guys, so we're back with the Lowboy Redeck project. And so I think what we're going to start with today is trying to get the boards laid out, get holes in them for the two sides, this side and the opposite side, because they already have some flat bar that's been added in here the last time this trailer was redecked, in order to not have to re-drill holes where they originally had the trailer, I don't know what you call them, the trailer type screws, but they always break off. So they went back in and added a flat bar in here so they could put bolts in here through this little slot and not have to drill holes. So we've got that on the two outside ones, and then the inside they actually used some big washers, and they drilled them in at an angle and let them like catch the channel. And I don't really like that. I don't want to go back with that. So we're gonna have to do some work. Either we're gonna do something similar to what they did with this flat bar in there in the middle, or I may just torch some holes into the channel across the middle. or I may make another piece of metal across the middle and put holes in it, but I doubt to do all that. I'll probably just torch holes in the top piece across there and bolt them in. I think that'll be fine. So anyway, so we're gonna try to get these two sides in. That way I'll have a deck up here that I can work on, and I can work on this from down here standing on the ground, and when I get up there I'll have these decks down that I can work off in the middle, and that'll make things nicer. So that's what we're gonna do, and then once we're done with that, we can move on to that up here. I'm hoping I don't know if I can get all that done in the next 3 or 4 hours, but we'll see. 3 and no, since 23 to leave a little gap in there, so I'm about to rip one down just to go in here as well. They're wider, I guess, than the old ones were. First thing, 3 and no, since 23 to leave a little gap in there, so I'm about to rip one down just to go in here as well. They're wider, I guess, than the old ones were. First thing I gotta do is cut them down to 15'9". Oh, sorry. Go back. Keep answering dogs. Go.
No. It was just they make so much noise. You said 15
well,
what?
I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and cut 4 of them. Well, I can go ahead and cut 5 of them 15'9", and then I'm thinking maybe that piece that I cut out the middle, maybe I can make it work for those two, for when I rip it. But so I have this one, I'm gonna cut off that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to cut 5 boards 15'9" to start with. 3 and no, since 23 to leave a little gap in there, so I'm about to rip one down just to go in here as well. 3 and no, since 23 to leave a little gap in there, so I'm about to rip one down just to go in here as well. They're wider, I guess, than the old ones were. First thing I gotta do is cut them down to 15'9". Oh, sorry. Go back. Keep answering dogs. Go.
No. It was just they make so much noise. You said 15
well,
what?
I'm gonna go ahead and cut 4 of them. Well, I can go ahead and cut 5 of them 15'9", and then I'm thinking maybe that piece that I cut out the middle, maybe I can make it work for those two, for when I rip it. But so I have this one, I'm gonna cut off that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to cut 5 boards 15'9" to start with. What the hell? Gotta knock it off. push down on the bolt.
Oh, okay.
You say, why am I using such a big impact for just a little bolt?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because my little impact's broke. It's got a chuck stuck in it.
Oh.
So I have to use this for everything. It's ridiculous. I'm putting it on 2 so I don't break nothing. Yeah. Did it pull the head down? Is it flush or is it way down? What did it do with the head?
Hold on. That one went way down.
How bad?
Well, it went down.
Tell me when this one's about the same.
Okay. Well.
It ain't crushing it real bad, is it?
Mm-mm. I don't know. I better not do anything else till you look at it.
Yeah, that's fine. Good and tight. Good and tip right there. That'll be fine.